So I'm ready to film a segment for this episode of The Amazing Armchair Race where I'm running up these steps. And this little old man came across the street and talked to me directly because he thought I was taking historical pictures of the building, and he goes back to his car and he finds historical pictures of this building, and I had to tell him that I was doing advertisements of the building, which I do for this building. But how was I supposed to explain to him that I was filming a YouTube video about The Amazing Race? Roll the intro. Yes, if you're wondering, I did film this twice because the first time I looked like a pale vampire. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob and welcome back to The Amazing Armchair Race, the show where I put myself in the recent episode of The Amazing Race and I say where I think I would place and how well I think I do. Now, if you remember in the last episode, I said I ended up in 5th place, which is pretty good. Now, they implemented a new rule post-COVID that wherever you end up, you would go into that group. So the first 2 teams would depart, then the next 2 teams, then the next 2 teams. On the one hand, I like this rule because it stops the equalization that the recent season's really grown accustomed to. So it's really separating the groups. On the other hand, I came in 5th last week, so I mean I'd leave in the last group, which I don't like. But not to fret, it's not that much of a difference. And by the looks of this episode, a lot of teams got lost. See, they got their clue and they had to head to this big dam. And this dam was like 2.5 hours away. And the only way that they could reach there, they couldn't use any phones or anything, they had to use a giant map. Now, I'm not from the map generation, but I think I know how to read one. And I think the first thing I do with my partner is we get into the car, I get into the back seat because I can't drive, and we would look on the map exactly where we are and follow the route before we even leave. Try to figure out where we're going, make sure we're on the right path. Because a lot of teams did get lost, and especially it made me laugh, the flight attendants ended up taking the scenic route, which brought them from like 3rd to like 5th place. They had a head start and they blew it because they accidentally took the scenic route. So I have faith that me and my partner would avoid that. Now the first task today is you get a roadblock. Now I already did last week's roadblock, so I think I'd let my partner do this roadblock, but even if I had to do this roadblock, I think I'd be fine with it because you had to bungee jump off this giant dam. And you know, I was watching it and I was thinking, that looks familiar. Oh yeah, that was the task in the first episode of Season 14. Season 14 is really nostalgic for me because that was the very first season I watched live. That episode also had the Great Cheese Race, and I really want to do that task.
Oh, he just ate it.
You have one member jump and do the bungee jump down into the dam. Now, I said I don't have that much of a problem with heights, which I don't think this challenge would be that much of a problem for me. Although my uncle did say that once he went bungee jumping and he was planning on doing a big swan dive as he went down, and his body froze up and told him to fuck off and not jump because of survival instinct. And the guy had to push him, and he was so still when he fell that they thought he died. So I don't know if that would happen to me or not. I like to think that it's just a one and done. You push me off, I'm good. All the teams seem to do it well. I think we left in 5th. I think we make up a little time on the driving, and that would put us around 4th place when we arrive, and we're the 4th to jump off, and then you had to head back into town. So once you head back into town, you have to find a clue box on the beach, which comes one of my favorite moments in the episode where Akbar mistaked a fire hydrant for the clue box.
See the box?
You see it?
I don't know what that said. It's red and yellow.
That's a hydrant.
Huh?
That's a hydrant. This, right? That's what we're looking for.
It was red and yellow. The funny thing about that is I could see me doing that. So yes, you find the clue box, not the fire hydrant. You open up the clue and it's a detour. Now this detour is a choice between 2 tasks for you and your teammates. So one of the tasks, you had to go to this traditional Switzerland sausage making place, and you had to slinky the sausage, put the casing on it, and put it into shapes. And I'm geometrically challenged. I really don't think I could do this. Now, I am very German. I have Germanic roots. I think I know how to pack in a sausage, if you know what I'm saying. Why did I say it like that? No, but I think I would read that and I would be like, well, I don't want to smell like sausages the rest of the day, and I really think I would struggle on that task. Whereas the other task just said you had to bring up 12 bottles of wine to this little bistro, some snacks, bring your Travelocity. No, not a big deal at all. Which I think I would agree with Ryan and Dusty. All you have to do is do the task. There's no skill to it. You just have to do what the clue says to do. That was until you saw the 400 steps. Yes, this huge highway to heaven steps. Man, if I was doing this challenge, I sure hope I had my Fitbit on so I can count all the flights of stairs that I went. Yes, so this is a bit harder than it looks because you have to judge how many bottles of wine you can bring up the 400 steps. You probably have to make a few trips. If you drop or spill or anything like that, boom, you have to start again. This was a more difficult task than people thought, although I think it's fine. I'd probably take 6 bottles of wine straight up the stairs, no problem, go back down, get 6 more, and even carry some snacks with it. This challenge is no big deal. I would never drop or spill or anything like that.
Respectfully, there's no way Jacob could do this challenge. Speaking as his sister, I can tell you that in our living room there is a trail of just sticky little stains that are results of the little bits of Coke that splatter out of his glass on his way from the kitchen to the basement. So, sorry Jake, I don't think you could do this.
Don't wear white around Jake.
Jacob? He doesn't spill his drinks? Yeah, right.
No. Definitely not. Sorry, babe, love you.
Jacob, he doesn't spill his drinks?
So I invite Jake over for Thanksgiving, and I introduce him to my family, right? And everything's going really good. He's getting along with everyone just fine until dinner. And so we're all bringing food to the table, and Jake decides, I'm going to grab the gravy. And he gets the gravy, and while he's carrying it, he bumps into my cousin, and in front of him is my grandma, and he spills piping hot gravy all down the back of my grandma's neck.
There is no easy task for Jacob. I once seen him yard sale an entire skid of canned goods. The kids at the orphanage didn't get to eat that night.
Okay, so maybe I spill occasionally, a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm not able to do this challenge. You know what? I think I would do this challenge perfectly and I would never spill. And you know what? I'm going to show you. You know how I sang Donald, Where's Your Truthers the other episode? Well, today I'm going to go up 400 steps of stairs and carry some wine. I'm just going to do that right now for you. I don't think I have any wine or 400 steps of stairs, but I'm going to do something very similar, and you're going to see me do it. Ready? Okay, so it's not exactly 400 steps. I think I count 8, but it's close enough. This is the front of the office building that I edit all the videos in. So I don't have wine, but I have bottles of Pop Shop, if you know what that is. Close enough to wine, right? And I'm gonna go up and down those stairs and prove that I can do this challenge and carry all these without spilling. Ready? Okay, so maybe I wouldn't do that as well as I thought I would. Nevertheless, I still think I'm around 4th place. I know what you're thinking, that wasn't any good. No, I think I would be fine. I would take my time, obviously. I wouldn't take so many bottles at once. And there's a lot of teams that were really struggling with that task where I think that even though I would get a Charlie horse, I would be fine, and I would even pass some of the teams even if I was around 5th. I still think I maintain the 4th place position. No, I would not spill it. I know what all my friends said, which by the way, you guys suck. So after you deliver the 12 bottles of wine, the snacks, and even the little bit of alcohol for the little gnome, he got some too. Once you deliver all that, you have to open up the gnome where it gives you a picture and you have to ask someone on the street where that is. They direct you to it. This is really easy. You just go down and you ask some Swiss residents, and there's a lot of Swiss residents that seem to speak pretty good English, which is awesome. So after you get directions, you have to go down the beach and find this historical little house where you see Phil at the mat. As I said, we maintain 4th place throughout it, but you always have factors like me spilling that I have to take into account. So I think I'd get to the mat and Phil would say, Jacob, whoever your teammate is, none of you that sent a video, I can tell you that. Jacob, you are team number 5. So I get 5th place again, not that bad. I'm gonna leave later in the next leg. I don't think I would get last though, even if I spilt a ton, because the last place team in this episode, Arun and Natalia, I love them. But if I was competing with them, like they obviously got way turned around, way lost, which I don't think my team would. You never know. Basically, all the other teams have already checked in by the time they got to the village. And it ended up being a non-elimination anyways, so I'm not going anywhere. I think I'd get 4th, but I'm going to knock it down for 5th, just for the technicalities of this video. That's where I think I would get. Where do you think you would place in this episode of the race? Leave in the comments below. I appreciate all the support for this series, and thanks to my friends who I asked to send a video talking about my spilling issue. We have lots of fun stuff happening on this channel right now. I just uploaded a video where me and my friend Jordan watched Cats, and it was his first time ever watching Cats, and that led to some pretty fantastic reactions. More stuff coming, but my name is Jacob. I hope you have a great day. Travel safe. See you next time.